Places that must be seen and visited when in Andalusia, Spain. 1. Spanish Square, Seville. 2. Metropole, Peninsular, Seville. 3. Bus tour, Andalusia. 4. Mosque, Cathedral, Córdoba. 5. Alhambra, Granada. 6. City of Seville and surrounding. And now, just see it 1 by 1. Seville. Seville in Spanish is the capital of the Andalusia region in southern Spain, and is known for its rich history, vibrant culture, and stunning architecture. It is often considered one of Spain's most beautiful and romantic cities, serving as the cultural heart of Andalusia. Seville has the largest historic center in Europe, and is famous for its Moorish heritage, being a major city in Al-Andalus for centuries. Architecture and landmarks. Real Alcazar of Seville, a stunning royal palace complex, still used by the Spanish royal family, showcasing Mudejar, Moorish and Christian architectural styles. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Seville Cathedral and La Giralda, the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and a UNESCO site. The Giralda is its bell tower, originally the minaret of the mosque that previously stood on the site. Plaza de España, a magnificent semicircular building and square constructed for the Ibero-American Exposition of 1929, notable for its canals, bridges, and ceramic tile azulejos benches representing the provinces of Spain. Metropole Peninsular de Sevilla, a modern, giant wooden structure offering panoramic views of the city. Culture and atmosphere. Flamenco. Seville is considered the birthplace of flamenco music and dance. You can find authentic performances in many traditional tablaos and in the Triana neighborhood. Tapas. The city is renowned for its lively tapas culture, with numerous bars in historic quarters like Santa Cruz and Triana. Festivals. It hosts two of Spain's most famous and passionate festivals: Semana Santa, Holy Week before Easter, and the Feria de Abril, April Fair, a week of celebration with music, dancing, and traditional dress. Seville is centrally located within the Andalusia Autonomous Community, which is a highly diverse and historically significant area, bordered by the Atlantic Ocean, the Mediterranean Sea, and several other Spanish regions. Natural areas and local towns. Within the province of Seville and the wider region, you can find various landscapes and historic towns. Doñana National Park. Shared with the Huelva province, this is one of Europe's most important wetlands and a key stopover for migratory birds. Italica. An ancient Roman city ruin just outside Seville, featuring a large amphitheater and well-preserved mosaics. Carmona. a picturesque town with a rich history, Roman and Moorish influences. Featuring a stunning parader, luxury hotel in a historic building and well-preserved city gates. Sierra Norte to Seville Natural Park, a mountainous area to the north, offering hiking, typical Andalusian pastures, dehesas, and traditional villages. The White Villages, Pueblos Blancos, a series of beautiful, whitewashed towns scattered across the hills of the Cádiz and Málaga provinces and surrounding areas, known for their picturesque charm and winding streets. I hope you enjoy the beauty of Seville and its surroundings.
away to Granada, we can see a lot of them. The olive oil factories we call molino, like molly in English. Is a bull ring, and now you can see bull ring in the feria of Barcelona. Hay que destacar la plaza mayor es la plaza cerrada, que se llama así por la forma que tiene la plaza y que se utiliza en algunos festejos como plaza de toro, para hacer corrida. Eso es muy normal en España, ¿eh?
Tirchia sono meglio, sì, sì. Vatican là, Basilica da Pietra. Londone va Paolo, San Paolo. Huelva Santa Maria. Ciao.
The Mosque Cathedral of Córdoba, known in Spanish as the Mezquita Catedral, or simply the Mezquita, which means mosque, is one of the most historically and architecturally unique monuments in the world. Located in Córdoba, Spain, it represents a millennia-long transformation of sacred space. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an irreplaceable testimony to the cultures that have occupied the Iberian Peninsula. The building's unique significance comes from the blend of Islamic and Christian architectural styles. Islamic mosque, hypostyle hall, prayer hall, and immense forest of over 850 columns made from granite, jasper, and marble, many reused from Roman and Visigothic ruins. This creates a mesmerizing and seemingly infinite space. One of the most distinctive features: a lower horseshoe arch and an upper semicircular arch. These are built using alternating red brick and white stone, voussoirs, to increase the height and light of the prayer hall. The prayer niche, built in the 10th century, is one of the most richly decorated elements. It is an octagonal chamber, not just a niche, decorated with stunning Byzantine-style gold mosaics and intricate geometric and calligraphic patterns. Notably, like a few other early mosques, it faces south instead of directly towards Mecca. A vast exterior courtyard, originally the sun ablution courtyard for the mosque, which still features rows of orange trees and a bell tower that encases the original minaret. Christian cathedral, major cathedrals, cruise and main chapel. The central part of the building, a monumental Renaissance and Gothic insertion that cuts right through the mosque's column network. It features vaulted ceilings, ornate choir stalls by Pedro Duque Cornejo, and a magnificent altarpiece. Chapels. Numerous side chapels were added along the perimeter of the former mosque's walls, demonstrating Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque styles. The former Muslim minaret was converted into a Christian bell tower, with a Renaissance exterior built around the original structure. The Mosque Cathedral of Córdoba is not merely two separate buildings. It is a single structure that visually narrates the history of religious and cultural coexistence and conflict in Spain, making it a profound symbol of the complexity of Spanish history. Hope you enjoy the beautiful views of the buildings surrounding the Mosque Cathedral in Córdoba, Spain. The Alhambra is a world-famous palace and fortress complex located in Granada, Spain, and is one of the most significant monuments of Islamic architecture in the world, as well as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The name Alhambra comes from the Arabic al-Alhamra, meaning the Red Fortress, likely due to the reddish color of the earth and walls used in its construction. Its most glorious period was during the reign of the Nasrid dynasty, 13th to 15th centuries, the last Muslim rulers of Al-Andalus, Islamic Spain. It was built as a self-contained Palatine city and citadel. After the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand II and Isabella I, conquered Granada in 1492, the complex became a royal court for Spanish monarchs. Emperor Charles V commissioned the construction of the Palace of Charles V, a Renaissance-style palace, within the complex in the 16th century, creating a striking architectural juxtaposition. It fell into disrepair over the centuries but was later brought to international attention by American author Washington Irving with his 1832 book, Tales of the Alhambra. The Alhambra is a vast complex that includes several distinct areas. The Alcazaba, this is the oldest part, the fortified military citadel and barracks. It offers impressive views of the city from the watchtower, Torre de la Villa. The Nasrid palaces, Palacios Nazaris, the royal residences, renowned for their stunning and intricate Islamic art, characterized by Comares Palace, features the Court of the Myrtles, Patio de los Arayanes with its large reflective pool, and the Hall of the Ambassadors in the Comares Tower. Palace of the Lions, built by Muhammad V, centered around the iconic Court of the Lions, Patio de los Leones fountain, which sits on the backs of 12 marble lions. This area showcases the pinnacle of Nasrid art, including the intricate muqarnas, stalactite vaults, ceilings in the side halls. The General Life, located slightly apart on the adjacent hill, this was the Nasrid Sultan's summer palace and country estate, famous for its tranquil gardens and water features, such as the Patio de la Sequia, court of the main canal. The Palace of Charles V, a massive, uncompleted Renaissance palace located between the Nasrid palaces and the Alcazaba. Hope you enjoy the beauty of the Alhambra, Granada, Spain.
Si quiere podemos ir a ver la siguiente sala.
Bus tours hop on hop off in Seville, Spain, are a popular and convenient way to see the city's highlights, primarily offered as bus tour services. Hop on hop off flexibility. This is the standard format. You buy a ticket, usually valid for 24 or 48 hours, and can get on and off the double-decker bus at any designated stop along the route as many times as you like. Double-decker buses. These buses typically have open tops, providing panoramic views for sightseeing and taking photos. Audio commentary. Tours include pre-recorded commentary in multiple languages, often 8 to 16, including English and Spanish, to provide historical and cultural context for the sites. The routes are designed to cover the most emblematic parts of Seville. Common stops and sites you'll pass or stop near include Torre del Oro, Tower of Gold, a historic military watchtower by the Guadalquivir River, often the main starting point. Plaza de España, an impressive semi-elliptical complex built for the 1929 Ibero-American Exposition, located in the Parc de Maria Luisa. Barrio Santa Cruz, Jewish Quarter, the oldest part of Seville, where major monuments like the Seville Cathedral and the Real Alcazar are located, though you may need to hop off and walk to them. Triana, a traditional neighborhood known for its ceramics, flamenco, and vibrant local life across the river. Acuario de Sevilla, Seville Aquarium, and Isla Magica, stops near family-friendly attractions. Macarena, a historic neighborhood often including a view of the ancient city walls. There are a couple of main companies, such as City Sightseeing Seville, often red buses, and others, like the former Severama, sometimes green buses, which may offer a single main route or sometimes two distinct routes, like a monumental tour and a romantic illuminated tour. Some evening tours may also be offered seasonally.
The olive oil.
A bus tour is generally recommended if you have limited time. It provides a quick and comprehensive overview of the city and its main landmarks. You want to orient yourself? It's a great way to start your trip and decide which areas you want to explore more deeply later. You want convenience? It saves you the effort of navigating public transport or driving, especially in a city with narrow, historic streets. Hope you enjoy this bus trip in Seville, Spain with Hop On Hop Off Bus and Travel Bus.
Como plaza de toro, para hacer corrida. Eso es muy normal en España, ¿eh?
The Metropole Parasol, often known locally as Los Setas de Sevilla, the Mushrooms of Seville, is a striking, contemporary wooden structure located in the Plaza de la Encarnación in the heart of Seville, Spain. Facts about it. World's largest wooden structure. It is claimed to be the largest wooden structure in the world, made of micro-laminated finished pine and coated in polyurethane. Design and architect. It was designed by the German architect Jürgen Mayr and completed in 2011. Its organic, mushroom-like shape is said to be inspired by the vaults of the Seville Cathedral and the nearby ficus trees. Multi-level uses. The structure revitalized the square and serves several functions across its different levels. The project was the winning entry in a competition to redevelop the neglected square, and was designed to provide shade, a valuable commodity in hot Seville, and create a new, vibrant urban center, blending the city's ancient history with contemporary architecture. Enjoy Metropole Parasol, or often known locally as Los Setas de Sevilla, the Mushrooms of Seville. Spain Square, or Plaza de España, refers to a major public square in several Spanish cities, but the most famous and architecturally stunning is the one in Seville. The one in Madrid is also a significant landmark. The Plaza de España in Seville is a masterpiece of Spanish architecture, known worldwide for its dramatic scale and intricate tile work. It was designed by architect Aníbal González for the Ibero-American Exposition of 1929, a landmark example of regionalist architecture, which blends elements of Spanish Renaissance Revival, Baroque Revival, and Neo-Mudejar, Moorish Revival styles. The immense structure is a half-circle, or semi-ellipse, symbolizing Spain's embrace of its former American colonies, and is oriented facing the Guadalquivir River, the departure point for voyages to the Americas. A 515-meter-long canal runs around the perimeter, earning it the nickname, the Venice of Seville. 4 bridges cross the canal, each representing one of the 4 ancient kingdoms of Spain, Castile, Leon, Aragon, and Navarre. Along the base of the building, there are 48 colorful tiled alcoves and benches, each meticulously decorated with a unique ceramic mosaic azulejos that depicts a map and historical scene from one of Spain's provinces, plus 2 shared benches. This is a popular spot for visitors to photograph the panel of their home province. The ends of the semicircular building are flanked by 2 tall, elegant towers that balance the structure. It is instantly recognizable to many from its appearances as a filming location in major movies, including Lawrence of Arabia and Star Wars, Episode II, Attack of the Clones. Many other cities in Spain, such as Barcelona, Zaragoza, and Palma de Mallorca, also have a Plaza de España or Plaza de España. But the squares in Seville and Madrid are the most famous in a national and international context. Enjoy the beautiful view of the buildings around Spain Square in Seville, or commonly called Plaza de España.
For all my friends there, thank you very much for supporting me. And if you want, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? See you in my next content.